How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back bright and early in the morning for our FPL Game Week 9 deadline stream, and it's a big one because I'm on the Wildcard. So we're going to be looking at that. We got our stats tables back. I'm glad to have those back, which is good. Turns out the stream deck works perfectly fine. I don't know what happened last time, but all of a sudden the buttons work, so we're not going to complain too much. I wasn't able to actually check those, but yeah, all of a sudden they just work, so which is kind of weird. So yeah, that's good. Everything seems to be working out good, which means hopefully the wildcard's going to be good. So we're going to take a look at that, and yeah, hopefully it's going to be fantastic for us. So before we get started though, let's talk about our partners for the stream. So our partners for the stream today: Fantasy Football Scout. Fantastic members area. We'll be using their tables in this stream as well. We typically use them on the deadline stream to help inform us about captaincy decisions and that sort of stuff, and what defenses are good and what attacks are good. So we'll take a look at that. We'll look at also our goals imminent table, which we've kind of recreated from Fantasy Football Scout Joe. He often refers to the goals imminent table, which is basically like players who are bound to score this game week, or at least should do based on the number of chances they've been getting. So we'll take a look at all of that. So shout out to Fantasy Football Scout. Make sure to check the link in the about section or in the description if you're watching this VOD over on YouTube. We do these live streams over on Twitch, so make sure to come join us live for one. But yeah, you can check out the links and get access to the members area. It'll help elevate your FPL game. So without further ado, let's get into it. So some of the buttons work, some don't. So not sure which buttons work and which ones don't. So like if I hit the camera button, that one works now. The end button, I believe, is probably going to work. Let's see. No, the end button doesn't work. So I guess maybe it's the first button I hit when I go into the thing, which is weird. But anyway, we got it sorted. Best Isaac replacement, says I was. Oh, I forgot to do the deadline streamer. Deadline timer. Let me put that up really quickly. I can. That's something I can do on the fly, fairly quickly, actually. So where is so I want to change it to there we go. We got the timer back. We got the timer back. Lovely stuff. So, there we go. I knew I was forgetting something. It's been a while since I actually used the timer, because it's been a while since we did the deadline stream, so, at least properly anyway. I did it on the old build, but yeah, I forgot that I had that nice program downloaded, so yeah. The timer's nice. But yeah, best Isaac replacement. So, or Isak, however you want to pronounce it. Best Isak replacement. Mitrovic, probably if you don't have him. Mitrovic if you don't have him. Kane if you want an extra premium striker alongside Holland. Solanke if you want to move the funds around. Or probably someone that I might end up going with is Callum Wilson, actually, who just plays on the same team. It seems like Chris Wood, like if we look at the Newcastle players, we look at the forwards. Chris Wood is flagged. He was kind of a major doubt for this game. Isak's definitely not going to play, but Callum Wilson is probably going to be the starter. So I might just get Callum Wilson, to be honest. I might just get Callum Wilson, and he might be our budget guy, which could be good. So I'm considering it. This isn't the team that I'm going to go with. This is just the team that I currently have. there's a few changes I want to make. What's the fuss about Solanke? Well, so the reason is just because it's twofold. One, he doesn't cost very much. 5.7 million. Also, why is this cut off now? Oh, it's because I'm not doing a video. Yeah, so Solanke's picture is going to be cut off. Which is unfortunate, but nothing I can do about that. Yeah, so Solanke, his fixtures are good for the next 4. So he's got 3 home games. One against Southampton, one against Leicester. Both teams which he could score against. Fulham is effectively a championship team, so he could score against them. And Brentford were in a championship team 2 years ago, so that's why. That's kind of just it, to be honest. Cheap, and then his next 4 fixtures are good. That's why I like him. So that's kind of what people are going for. So if you have the ability to move the funds around, then that's what managers are going for. So for me, the current team that I'm actually going to be looking at, but I'm not fully decided on yet, but I'll have to do that before the end of the stream, will be as follows. So, players that we're definitely getting rid of is Perisic on the wild card, at least. Move this down. There we go. So we can just barely see the money. I'm not fully convinced on Trippier, to be honest. Nick Pope, I'm not fully convinced on either. Mitrovic, I don't want yet. And we'll show you the plan where we get Mitrovic in for Gameweek 11 through 14. But the rest of the team, Emerson, not convinced as much either. But yeah, so the goalkeeper I want to go for, I would have Trippier, but not Pope. Yeah, I mean, one of the others probably fine, but I don't want either, to be honest. I think Pope made a mistake, which could potentially spill over into his, into his Premier League form, which could potentially, make him try a little bit harder because he knows that, hey, look, I could potentially take somebody's spot here, go into England, maybe even surpass Jordan Pickford. That's possible. Because if Pickford comes back, isn't great, and Pope performs really well, who knows? Southgate might actually just pick him over Pope. Over Pickford. So, and speaking of Pickford, I was actually considering him because it looks like he is back. He is 4.5. Southampton away to start. The 2 fixtures after that aren't the easiest. Problem is that Pickford goes up against basically every player that I'm bringing in. So I'm bringing in Madison. I'll probably have Mitrovic by this point. I have Zaha here. He's going to be going up against a lot of teams that I have. But same with Crystal Palace, I'm pretty sure. So it doesn't matter if I pick Guaita or if I pick Pickford. Yeah, so the only team that Guaita would go up against during this time for players that I would have would be Chelsea, but we'd try not to play him. Leicester would be Madison. And that's it. At least up until the international break, that is. So, Guaita was the one I was kind of set on. So I think we might go him. But we want to go with somebody who is potentially going to cover him this week. If we can get away with it. It doesn't look like that's going to be Begovic. Which is a bit unfortunate. Um, because it looks like Pickford's going to come straight back in. So the only other four-man goalkeeper is Ward, but I think Iverson might take over his place eventually, and also Iverson is 0.1 cheaper. The only issue, obviously, with Guaita is that they'll say, oh, you know, he could potentially get rotated, but it seems like he's first choice for the time being. Also, the goalkeeper status for Palace. Butland's injured. Johnston is just not been involved. I guess he's just being developed at the moment, and will eventually become the number one, maybe in like a year or two's time. But for the time being, Guaita has got the nod. I'm trying to actually figure out how old is Guaita. Vincente. Yeah, see, Guaita's 35, so probably this season, maybe next season. Then you're looking to potentially phase in Sam Johnston. So that is probably who we go for. And I think Butland was ahead of Johnston anyway, so I think Guaita is the one to kind of go for. In defense, I want Trent Alexander-Arnold back for sure. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Up top, I said I wanted Wilson, Callum Wilson, that is, for these two fixtures. And then I think cheap defender, I think you can't go wrong with Mark Gay. He had 4.3. KDB to Salah for a -4. Depends on what you are doing with your other transfer, I would say. If your other transfer is to for the -4 is like you're downgrading somebody to get like Isaac to Tony, so you're not really moving funds around or anything like that. So I mean, it's whatever. If you're captaining Salah, then yeah, sure. I don't mind a -4 to bring in a captain. I think that's fine. The thing is with Salah, is Salah gonna do like crazy well versus Brighton and Arsenal, whereas De Bruyne has Man United and Southampton. Now De Bruyne could do, you know, good things versus anyone, right? That just kind of is obvious. Also with the price drop on Salah, I only actually need 0.2 to get him. So if we were to get Salah, we would sacrifice Wilson for Mitrovic, and we'd have him. That'll kind of make the team a little bit more boring. So if we did this strategy, right? We would play. Well, let's chuck it into FPL.team. That's what I'll do. That is what I will do. FPL.team. Put in the ID. Don't worry, I'll bring it up on the screen for you in a second. There we go. So we currently have Guaita in goal. We have Everson. We have Alexander-Arnold. We have Mark Gehi. We have Emerson. I don't think this 4-man slot really matters too much. Probably Nico Williams is better actually with the 0.1. It's either that or make sure, or we have Ward. One of the two. But I guess we could just play Everson. If he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, well, he doesn't. And then Guaita comes in. Not the end of the world. And with our current setup with Zaha and Guaita, we'd rather them beat Chelsea because also we don't want Chelsea to win. I think KDB captain is probably, if you have Haaland, I would just go Haaland, to be honest. Because if De Bruyne is assisting, Haaland's probably scoring, so Haaland gets more points for a goal than KDB does for an assist. And Pep kind of talked about that as well. Yeah, so we have 0 in the bank with this. So let's change out Silva for Zaha, Kulusevski for Madison, Gundogan for De Bruyne. So Kane out for Mitrovic, Jesus out for Solanke. Reece James in for Marquehi. Oh, this is Nico Williams. Nico. Did we have Salah? Yeah, we did have Salah in this plan. So yeah, we were able to do this. So if we wanted to, genuinely, unfortunately you can't see the currency above, but that doesn't matter. I'm gonna change it to Wildcard just because it'll say we have infinite transfers. So this is what the team would look like. Captaincy wise, we could captain Salah if we wanted to this game week. That's if we wanted to go Salah. That would be the only reason to do it. Further down the line, I mean, we would try to play Everson in this game too if we could. But it says Guaita 3 points better on predicted points, which is crazy. But yeah, so game week 10, what we do? Well, we can get rid of Salah and bring De Bruyne back if we wanted to. Captain Haaland. Then we could. I'm just trying to make sure that the transfers are consistent. So if we got rid of him, we would have 0.1 less here. So this would be 0.5, remember, because De Bruyne is currently 12.4. So that's fine. Next, we would give rid of De Bruyne for Son, which we would do Son. Wait, so if I had De Bruyne and he cost 12.3, so when we sold him, yeah, we would still get the same amount of money back, so it's fine. So yeah, Son would be our captain in this one. Next, we then play Gehi instead of Cancelo. Andreas instead of Haaland. Nico Williams instead of Martinelli. Then we can get rid of Son and bring Salah back in. If we should have the exact money to do that, assuming there's no assuming Salah doesn't like go up or something like that. That would be the only problem. Do I want to keep the extra 0.1 in the bank somewhere? That would be basically we would need to not have Nico Williams. Gameweek 13. We put Holland in for Solanke, Cancelo in for Nico Williams, Martinelli in for Mark Gahey, something like that. Holland captain. We could just bank the transfer in this game week. I think that's fine. Game week 14. We could do Gahey in versus Southampton. Madison out. This could be for like a Foden or somebody like that, or Saka, or like whoever our original plan was. So this game week 14, so we have 2 game weeks after that. Yeah, Saka would come in for Madison because he's currently cheaper. So we can actually do that in one, which is good. Actually, couldn't we? No, we want Madison for Wolves. But yeah, Saka could come in. We could potentially roll the next one. But again, this is assuming no radical price changes. Then in 15, we can put Mitrovic, Solanke in versus Leeds. We can then get rid of Salah for De Bruyne. And essentially roll again. And then for 16, we could go potentially upside chasing and go Saka to like a cheaper midfielder potentially. Trying to think who that cheap. I mean, we could go literally whoever we want. We could go like Douglas Luiz if we wanted to. Like just any cheap midfielder so that we can upgrade Mitrovic to somebody. So yeah, I mean that strategy is not bad, to be honest. The only thing is I don't get to punt on Callum Wilson, which is what I kind of wanted to do. But this does allow for us to rotate the premiums and stuff around, which is kind of nice, actually. I do like that strategy, to be honest. It also allows us to use like Solanke and his good fixtures and like dodge them, which is kind of good. But I think I'm trying to find the point. Like if I can have that 0.1, I think if Patterson's like was fit, I don't know how long is he. I know he's still 4.1. Yeah, because the problem is with Emerson is that he plays Liverpool and he's also not guaranteed to play 100%, which is unfortunate. Yeah. But maybe we'll worry about the exact money later down the line. Hey Mono, out and about, head melted about Wildcard, but I feel okay. Could you take a look? Sure, I can. I certainly can. I certainly can. Will I go with Salah? Yeah, we're debating on it. We're definitely debating it. Just checking things on Twitter. Right. Oh, you'll type it. Okay, cool. But yeah, if I could have an extra 0.1, like if Emerson was actually someone useful, like a useful defender that was like not playing Liverpool or something, then we'd be fine, I think. What are the how do the fixtures play out today? So I would have what, Madison on Monday. I'd have on Sunday I'd have the double city. Well, Holland not captain, so that could be bad. And then I'd have 8 players in the rest of the game, so I'd have nothing in the West Ham Wolves. I'd have double Liverpool, a Fulham, Chelsea, Bournemouth. Who would I have? When did Palace play? Palace played Chelsea, right? So I'd have to, I guess I hope Everson will play, but I'd have 3 players in that game: Zaha, Guaita, and Reece James. So yeah, that's the thing. The only consideration for Salah is if if he's if he would be my captain this week. So okay, so Mono's got Guaita, Ward, James, Gehi, James Justin, Cancelo, Trippier, Martinelli, Zaha, Madison, Salah, Pereira, Solanke, Mitrovic, and Holland. Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, basically have the same team apart from the fact that I have Trent and you have Trippier. Basically. Son in for Salah in Game Week 11. Justin wins out for me over Zuma. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. Went off the Sterling idea. Yeah, I kind of want to I kind of want to go into Chelsea more, but I don't know. I'm still not fully convinced. So yeah. X Nike says, "Hi, bro." Wait, I think it was hi. Play Andreas or -4 Tony for another 7.4 million forward. Uh, oh, -4 to get Tony. But it take a -4 to get Tony. Who does Tony play this week? Bournemouth. I think I would just play Andreas, to be honest. I think I would just play Andreas Pereira. Honestly, Fofana is too much of a risk. I agree. I think he is too much of a risk. No worries, Nike. Praz has released his team. He's got Ward, James, Cancelo, Trippier, Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Madison, Zaha, Salah captain. Interesting. Barnes as well. Mitrovic and Holland as his vice. He's got Guaita on his bench, and he's hoping that Ward plays. So, yeah, if I had the extra 0.1, that'd be so good. The extra 0.1 would be nice. Yeah, it's mainly down to the fact that like Nico Williams plays Brighton. That's kind of it. If I were to go Salah, right? Mo Salah running down the wing. I'm curious to what what would like Darwin Nunez look like in this team if I got rid of Mitrovic? What could I do? Oh, I checked the mono. Yeah, the team looks good. The team looks good. I think it looks fine. Oh, Gameweek 9. Oh, here we go. Personally, I would play Zaha over James Justin, but that's just me. I would say Zaha's probably better versus Chelsea than, because you don't want a double clean. I think Forrest is scoring, to be honest, and I wouldn't want a double clean sheet wipeout. That's just me personally. I mean, Ward might not even play. We don't even know. Iverson might play instead. But again, we don't know. But yeah, I like Zaha. Like, this would be the type of game that Zaha would score against. A team that is all over the ball, and then all of a sudden he goes on the break and scores. Little bedroom. Darwin Nunez. Can't really do too much with the money, to be honest, which is a bit unfortunate. Or at least not that I can think of. Anyway, let's take a look at some tables. Shall we? Let's take a look at some tables. So let's start with the goals in minute table. So, we got a few players on here that some might be interested in. Let's just disconnect this. So basically this is organized by XG Delta. So if the number is negative, that's basically how many goals they should have scored based on the number of shots they've had. So Solly March, as an example, should have scored at least 1.5 extra goals than what he has done already. De Bruyne, an extra goal. Salah, almost an extra goal. Jared Bowen, almost an extra goal. Nunez, 3/4 of a goal. Saka, half a goal. Martinelli is pretty much bang on. And then Barnes and St. Maximin are just slightly overachieving. But with the amount of shots, they should be potentially getting chances to score more. So, very, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff indeed. So yeah, Salah and De Bruyne are both on this list. And if we look at players who are basically getting in the penalty box and organize it by penalty area touches, Salah is actually second over the last 4 matches. Like, he is getting touches in the box. It's just when Haaland gets a touch in the box, he scores a lot. So, yeah, I think that could be very, very interesting. So yeah, I think that even though people are saying that Salah, or it looks to be that Salah isn't playing as well, I mean, Salah's got 2 touches inside the 6-yard box. Haaland's got 5, which is obviously massive. If you're inside the 6-yard box and you get a touch mode, likely it's a goal. If we swing this over to the captaincy table, let me sort it by XGI. Salah's actually third. He's above Jesus, who had the most touches. Salah just needs to basically get the returns. The thing that we know about Brighton's new manager, because that's who Liverpool are playing, is Brighton the manager is going to be, he likes to attack. So if he likes to attack, that kind of helps Liverpool out. Have Liverpool solidified some stuff over the international break? Who knows? We know that Salah's was back early and was able to get integrated back into training earlier than normal, which is a good thing for him. We also know that both him and Haaland are not going to the World Cup because they're both their countries didn't make it. So yeah, I think this is very interesting. I put Callum Wilson on this list because I still think he is an interesting punt. I think there might be, Eddie Howe often talked about wrapping him up in cotton wool and whatnot. So that kind of throws me off just a little bit, which is why I might end up going the Salah route. Switch him down to De Bruyne, then switch to Son. So Salah would be to De Bruyne versus Southampton, then switch him to Son, then back to Salah again for these 3, then switch him to De Bruyne for these 2. That's what my transfers basically might end up looking like if we were to go the Salah route. So having that 0.1 this week would be so nice for Ward, because I know he's going to play, or at least it looks like he's going to play. Justin or Trippier? Trippier. Obviously, if money's no object. But yeah, Trippier. I mean, I could also go Raya as well. But, like, Raya's fixtures, yeah, he's got Bournemouth this week, but Newcastle away is pretty tough. Brighton, probably by this point, are probably going to be much tougher. Chelsea's obviously difficult. Villa, Wolves, Forest. I mean, Raya's not a bad option either. We know he's nailed. We can also play him this week, like just straight up, and that means we can keep Iverson. We do have Gehi for the defense, and we don't have to worry about him getting rotated. Maybe Raya's the play, to be honest. I mean, I talked about his fixtures being difficult. Like, these 3 fixtures are considered difficult, but in those games versus Brighton and Newcastle and Chelsea, he's going to get save points. So what has he done versus, like, the more difficult teams? So Man United at home was obviously an anomaly. Leicester, we know Leicester can score versus anyone. And he hasn't, haven't kept a clean sheet since. But if you look at the number of saves, I mean, 3, 4, 6, 6, 3, 4, 4. He makes at least a few saves a game, which is a good thing. Because if he ever does keep a clean sheet, like, that's kind of good. So maybe that's who we go for. Who is Rye's backup, actually? Where's Brentford? Brentford. Oh, Struckhofer, whatever his name is. On the bench, would you have Justin first over Pereira and Gahey? Let me check. I would put Pereira, then Justin, then Gahey. That's how I would order it. You always kind of put your attacker first. How owned is Salah anyway? Maybe 35%. Not bad. Haaland, 81. That's not good. We don't captain him. He's going to be a pretty heavily against us. But I mean, I could kind of root against Haaland because he's playing versus United. So, speaking of which, what are United's fixtures? United's fixtures are pretty pants over the next 5. But they're pretty good. From 15 onwards, which is encouraging. So maybe... So when does Madison play? Madison plays Man City in 14. So maybe we look to like Rashford or Antony or somebody like that for those 3. Then we get a little bit extra funds. Yeah, because basically in 12 we'd have Salah. Solanke would drop to the bench, right? Yeah, he dropped to the bench. Mitrovic would play the next 2. Then Mitrovic would drop to the bench. We can get rid of Madison. We could have like Rashford as an example if he's playing well, which would give us much more funds. Because by this time, because in Gameweek 15 we would be getting rid of Salah for De Bruyne, which would give us an extra 1.8, which would mean 8.7 on Mitrovic, which could get us Jesus. It can get us not Nunez, but will we have downgraded anyone in this time? I don't think so. Do Newcastle's fixtures get better in 15 and 16? Who do they play? Southampton. And Chelsea. Not ideal. Spurs play Leeds. They also play Liverpool. I don't know, we'll see. Rashford in 11 is good. Who's he playing 11? Can't remember. You probably want to avoid these 3, I think. Here's where you want him. And who knows when these fixtures are getting played. So, start Pope or Ward? You gotta start Nick Pope. See all these people trying to start Ward versus Forrest. Forrest are going to score, I think. Whereas Nick Pope at least has a chance to keep penalty, or like to save something. And keep a clean sheet. I mean, that game could just say 0-0. Like, we don't even know. Mitrovic has never scored versus Newcastle when he's played them. I think it's like 4 games he's played against them. Former club. Never scored. So very interesting. All right, let me run through this one more time and just make sure that I have the plan kind of down. So this is game week 9. This is who we have. That's correct. Let's try. I'm gonna do Raya here. Okay. We know that this works. We have 0 in the bank. Following game week, De Bruyne comes in for Salah. That's a downgrade, so that's fine. We would have 0.5 sell value, or 0.5 purchasing power there. If Everson randomly was starting, we could put him in versus Bournemouth. That's a possibility as well. Because Newcastle away for Raya could be tricky. Then we would do, since Salah and De Bruyne play each other, we would bring in Son. That would go up to 1.1 as normal. Unless Son went up in value somehow. Oh, oops. Undo. There we go. That would be Son. So yeah, we got that right. In the following game week, we're doing Son back to Salah. Raya would play versus Chelsea, which is not ideal. And this is with the 1 transfer. If we have to make a hit this week, I don't mind it, per se. I don't mind it. In the following week, yeah, because Son back to Salah would just be the same price. Again, we might get sell value off of Salah almost immediately, to be honest, which could help us out. But if they all stay in and around the same price, then as long as Salah doesn't go up, will Salah doing well versus Brighton make him go up in price? Probably not, because then he has Arsenal and Man City. He'll probably just go back down if he doesn't do anything versus them. So again, we'll have to play it by ear. If I need to take a hit in that previous game week, then I'll do it. It's not the end of the world. Then we don't make a transfer here. This would be Colin captained. Probably Salah vice, maybe Salah captain there. Then game week 14. Make 1 transfer, which is basically bringing in Saka. Game week 15. We can bring De Bruyne back in. Saka would play Chelsea, so if I could find I gotta find a midfielder that's like around that price point that would be good. That's when United play Villa. United play Villa and Fulham. Fulham. So maybe this is where like a Rashford would come in. So De Bruyne would be to 0.5. Rashford to Saka. So 0.5, 0.6. 1.9, something like that. And then, I mean, this is Rashford. Then we could just do one transfer. We can actually get rid of Raya if we wanted to. We can bring in the best goalkeeper. Whatever that fixture is. Who's the best goalkeeper this week, probably? We just bring in Allison. We could bring in De Gea. Because this team doesn't need anything. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, so maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's what we do. Maybe that's what we do. Yeah, maybe that's what we do. So let's do it. We have a plan. We have a plan. First things first. How am I going to organize this? I gotta put the red all on one side. So Trent for Nico. Like that. Martinelli. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, it worked out. Okay. Salah for Andreas. And then Solanke for Andreas. Andreas for Solanke. Yeah. Andreas for Holland. Holland for Andreas. No, that's not what we wanted to do. We want Solanke to be the farthest over. Okay, now we just do yeah. There we go. And then Salah. Salah swaps like that. Unless we want Cancelo and Holland in the middle. I'm thinking way too much about this, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking way too much about this. So if I take a striker and I put them over, they're going to go to the far side. I want Mitrovic and Holland to swap. So I want Mitrovic in first. Then Holland. Then Solanke. Like that, yeah. There we go. Oh, and Reece James and João Cancelo swap. There we go. It's a bit more uniform. Let me take a picture of my team real quick, just in case, so I can have it all ready to go. got that sorted. So, well, we're less than 4 minutes to the deadline. Yeah, we do. Let me see if there's anything on Twitter really quickly. Yeah, I don't see anything on Twitter. I don't see anything on the Twitter. Less than 3 minutes, make sure your teams are all sorted. So I'm going to refresh my team, make sure it looks the way it's supposed to look. And it does. So yeah. Yeah, so I think with the only thing is that when we go to bring Salah potentially back in for West Ham, is where we might run into a bit of a money issue. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there, if it were to occur. But I do like swapping around the premiums. I think that is a very fun strat. I'd rather not get pummeled by City today. That would be ideal. Is De Bruyne owned more than Salah right now? Salah was 30 something. They're about the same actually. Salah slightly more. Yeah. Son's ownership creeping up. Yeah, 11%. How owns Solanke now? Oh, 1.1%. Yo, let's go. Not really expecting too much, but yeah. Like, the expectations for Solanke is in these 6 fixtures that we're potentially going to be playing him in. So 9 through 12 and then 15 and 16. If he gets 3 returns in that time, I'll be happy. A return every other game, I'll be happy. 5.7 million. That's all you can ask for, to be honest. So we got less than 1 minute. Make sure to have everything raring and ready to go. Ow. So yeah, I think Haaland is definitely the safe captaincy choice this week, but you can go a little bit different on the wild card. Here we got 15 seconds left. Make sure you have your teams locked in. So yeah, how many players do I have to go today? So the Arsenal Spurs game, I'll have just Martinelli. So that's 1. I unfortunately will have Solanke going up against Raya. I would love Solanke to score. That'd be fine. Raya just makes a few saves. Be okay. Deadline's over, by the way. I have Zaha versus Chelsea, who's directly against Reece James, which isn't ideal, but Reece James can always get an attack return. I'd love Zaha to score. That'd be great. And beat Chelsea. If Zaha scores 3, I don't care. So I have 1 Arsenal Spurs, 2-3 in Bournemouth Brentford, 4-5 in Crystal Palace Chelsea. I have 6 Mitrovic, 7-8 in Liverpool. And then I have my 2 City and Madison on Sunday and Monday. Okay. And unfortunately, I have a few players playing against each other, which isn't ideal, but not the end of the world. So yeah, that should be the deadline. And it is. There we go. Lovely stuff. thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining us. Let's move over to the big screen really quickly. So yeah, thank you all for watching. That is going to conclude the Game Week 9 deadline stream. Make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, share, all that good stuff. And we'll be back on Monday for the preview stream. So thank you for watching, and until next one, take care.